Welcome to the Enchanted Lighthouse, where every week magical stories and new adventures await. Join our group of 7 wonderful animal friends as they bring tales about friendship, mystery, and wonder to life. From unexpected guests to heartfelt conversations under the moonlit sky, each story holds a gentle truth. We are so glad that you are here. Now let us begin. Percy and the Weekend of Snow. A visitor in the falling snow. Snow still covered the cliffs around the Enchanted Lighthouse, softening every sound. The sea rolled slowly below, dark and calm, while frost traced delicate patterns along the lighthouse windows. Inside, the friends were busy preparing the guest room for a special visitor. A few days earlier, Olivia had received a carefully folded letter, sealed with a tiny snowflake pressed into blue wax. The handwriting was cheerful and a little wobbly, as if the writer had smiled the whole time. In it, Percy the penguin wrote that he was coming from the far ice, that the snow at home was changing, and that he hoped he might visit Aurora's watch for a weekend. He promised jokes, good company, and stories from the coldest seas. Olivia read the letter aloud at breakfast. Theo's glow brightened at once, and the lighthouse friends got to work, getting the guest room ready. Hazel fluffed pillows and hung a fresh lantern by the bed. Zoe folded thick blankets, humming quietly as she worked. She was already thinking about warm treats to prepare. Lumi adjusted the curtains so the morning light would glow gently instead of glare. Olivia checked a small stack of books and stories, placing them neatly on the shelf. Milo pretended not to help, but somehow the room kept getting tidier whenever he passed through. Seppi slid across the hallway with a bundle of towels, nearly bumping into Theo, who steadied him with a warm laugh. "Another guest," Theo said softly. "Winter visitors always bring interesting stories." Just then the wind shifted, and with it came a sound none of them expected. A cheerful wobble-wobble on the steps. Theo opened the door. There stood a penguin wrapped in a knitted blue scarf, snow dusting his feathers, eyes sparkling with excitement. "Hello," he said brightly. "I am Percy. I hope I'm not late. I stopped to admire your lighthouse from every angle." The friends smiled instantly. "You are right on time," Theo said. "Welcome. Settling in." Percy wasted no time exploring. He waddled through the lighthouse with delighted gasps, admired the spiral stairs, and laughed when Seppi tried to teach him how to slide properly on the polished floor. "This place feels alive," Percy said, "like it is listening." Zoe served warm berry bread, and Percy declared it the best thing I have ever eaten indoors. Hazel showed him the lanterns, and Percy asked at least 10 questions about how they worked. Lumi shared a quiet moment with him by the window, watching snow drift down like feathers. "I have never stayed somewhere like this," Percy admitted. "Back home everything is ice and wind. Beautiful, but changing." Stories from the ice. That evening they gathered near the fire. Percy sat close, warming his flippers. "The ice where I come from is different now," he said carefully. "Some parts melt earlier than they used to. Paths change. Old resting places disappear." The room grew quiet, but not heavy. "That is why I wanted to travel," Percy continued. "I wanted to see how others live, how they care for their homes, so I can tell my family that the world is big and full of ideas." Lumi nodded slowly. "Change can be frightening," she said. but learning from one another gives us direction. Olivia added gently, and stories help us remember what matters. Percy smiled. Then I have come to the right place. A quiet reflection. After Percy's stories from the ice, the room hummed softly with the warmth of the fire. Everyone paused, letting the words sink in. Percy looked into the flames, feathers slightly ruffled, as if carrying the weight of distant glaciers on his shoulders. I sometimes feel small, he admitted quietly. Like no matter how far I waddle, I can't fix the ice that melts back home, or the places that are gone forever. Theo shifted closer, his soft glow brushing against Percy's feathers. Even small steps matter, he said. Every story you share, every idea you bring back, it helps others see the changes and think differently. And sometimes, Hazel added softly, seeing a new way of living can inspire hope. Even the tiniest lantern can light the darkest corner. Lumi added, voice calm like drifting snow. Change can feel lonely, but it's easier when we notice it together. Your journey here shows that even in a short visit you can carry warmth back to those who need it. Percy blinked, feeling the heaviness in his flippers lift just a little. He realized that sharing his worries didn't make him weak. It made him part of a bigger story. And maybe the world wasn't just melting and shifting, it was also full of friends ready to listen. For the first time that evening, Percy let himself pause completely, listening to the quiet crackle of the fire, the soft fall of snow outside, and the gentle presence of new friends who seemed to understand. A winter weekend together. The next day passed in a cozy rhythm. They took a careful walk outside, bundled in scarves, showing Percy the frozen tide pools glittering beneath the frost. Hazel slipped once and laughed so hard she forgot to be embarrassed. Milo challenged Percy to a snow sculpture contest and lost spectacularly. Zoe prepared a slow, warming stew that filled the lighthouse with comfort. Seppi listened wide-eyed as Percy told funny stories about sliding races back home. That night they played games by lantern light while snow tapped gently against the windows. Percy laughed often, but also listened carefully, taking it all in, preparing for the journey back. On Percy's last morning the sky was pale and quiet. The friends helped him pack. Hazel tucked a small lantern into his bag. So you can show them how we light the dark, she said. Zoe wrapped a bundle of baked treats. For the journey, she smiled. Theo walked Percy to the door. When you tell your family about us, Theo said, tell them this lighthouse will always welcome travelers. Percy's eyes shone. I will. I will tell them about warmth, about friendship, about a place that shines not just for ships, but for hearts. He waved as he waddled into the snowy path, turning back one last time to look at the glowing tower. The snow continued to fall, quiet, gentle and hopeful. Every story has something to teach us. What did we learn today? We have learned that listening matters, that sharing stories how we live can help others find their way, and that even a short visit can carry light far beyond the horizon. Thank you for stopping by here today. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a like and don't forget to come back next week for a brand new adventurous story. Want to learn more about the magical tenants who live here? Visit enchantedlighthouse.com for a mystical map, creative artwork, and a few special gifts. Until then, be kind and share your light. See you next time.